So tell me, who didn't see this one coming? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Lia Thomas yet again. I know. I've kind of run this story into the ground. You're talking about taking the dead horse, beating it, then beating it dead again. But Lia Thomas has been nominated by the school that they graduated from, UPenn, as NCAA Woman of the Year. So you have a biological male, a biological XY male who now identifies as female, is all of a sudden Woman of the Year. Why? What's the reason? Like, what is the actual reason? What has Lia Thomas done to be considered Woman of the Year? Aside from the whole gender situation, aside from the whole trans thing and the political stuff behind it, what have they actually done to get that kind of consideration? Like, I'm trying to figure it out, because I presume to be nominated for Woman of the Year, you got to do certain things that are beyond your sport. Not just being good in the swimming pool, not just breaking records, but isn't it a little bit more to it than that? I would assume that there is. And here's my issue with it. If it's all about just your identity and the LGBTQ element, what is a LGBTQ movement really about? Now, when I say that, don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about gay people or LGBT people. That's not who I'm referring to. I'm talking about the movement itself. Just like Black Lives Matter, right? This is a movement. I'm not referring to black people when I say Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the movement, the organization, the group, the ideology. What is it really about? BLM is about Marxism, destroying a nuclear family, just profiting off of despair among the quote unquote black community. So what is the LGBTQ movement actually about? Is it about trying to replace women? Is it about trying to make it to where men and women have no difference? I'm just kind of confused as to what's really going on here, because I don't see a reason why this person should be Woman of the Year. Aside, even if, like, just remove the whole gender thing. Let's just say that Lia Thomas was born XX with a womb and ovaries and the whole 9 yards. What have they done to get that consideration? Is it just the accolades? Well, we know the accolades are for a specific reason. It's because for their whole life, Lia Thomas was a male, 6'4", almost, big, crazy, Michael Phelps looking hands. All right. We know there's physical advantages. Oh, Leah's on hormones. Well, the hormones ain't shrinking your bones. The hormones are making you shorter. The hormones are making your hands go from, Kawhi Leonard, pop my whole basketball, to some little 5'4" young lady. That's not going on. But we have an article here I want to get into, and I want to see if I can find anything in here that would make it make sense to where Lia Thomas is the NCAA Woman of the Year, or why they would get a nomination to become NCAA Woman of the Year. So let's check it out. So you see the headline: UPenn nominates transgender swimmer Lia Thomas for NCAA's, that's misspelling, I suppose, Woman of the Year award. And let's see, trans college swimmer Lia Thomas, et cetera, et cetera. Thomas, who won the 500-yard freestyle at the 2022 NCAA Women's Division I Swimming and Diving Championships early this year, is one of the 577 graduating female student athletes nominated by their schools for the prestigious award, according to the NCAA. And I think what UPenn is doing is just sticking by their person. They're sticking by him, because a lot of athletes at UPenn complained about Lia, because Lia still has the twig and berries. So you go to the locker room, and also, let's not forget this part, Lia Thomas is still attracted to women. Lia Thomas, as a male, is not gay, but as a female is gay. Confusing. But anyway, you still get your twig and berries as a male. You still like women, and you're going into the women's locker room and you see them in various states of undress. Now, I don't have to explain the birds and the bees to you grown people out there, and to the youngins, I'll leave it to your parents. But there are certain things that happen when you have men that like women who see women in states of undress. Now, if I was a young lady going to UPenn, I didn't sign up for that. I did not sign up for this big Deadpool looking cat to be in a locker room, looking at me in that kind of way and having some things go on with his physical body as a result. That's not what I signed up for at all. And you parents don't want that for your daughter either, do you? I don't think so, but let's continue. Now, she, quote unquote, graduated from UPenn this year after the record-smashing season, mired in controversy, with critics claiming she had an unfair advantage competing in the women's division when she was biologically born a male. This pronoun stuff is wearing me out. I promise. It's wearing me completely out. And I feel like I've said it before, they overdo it. How many times must you say the word she in one sentence? You understand? Like this right here. Look, this is one sentence. She. I mean, can we get a different word in there? Bro, chap, person, them, something else other than she. But I'll move on. Caitlyn Jenner, a trans activist and former Olympic gold medal winning decathlete, called Thomas's participation in the women's division, quote, one of the worst things to happen to the trans community. The swimmer's UPenn's teammates also voiced their concerns, with one saying the team's wins felt tainted. Of course, look at this. I mean, come on, man. I'm all for anybody living their life how they want to live it, but there's a certain point when you can't just infringe upon other people's rights. You may feel like your name is Lia. You may feel like you want to identify as whatever, but biologically, you're not that. You should compete against the men. And if that's not fair, then there needs to be a trans league. But you know what? I think they know what they're doing. I think they're just trying to gain a competitive advantage over the women because they're biologically men and they know that they are physically superior to the women. Because you don't see this the other way around, because you also have trans men, women that were born XX women, eggs, ovaries, the whole 9 yards. Then they become men. Like, what's that? Elliot Page from, what's that? Umbrella Academy, all of that. Like that. But you never see them compete in sports against men. Why? They have no advantage. But you always see the trans men compete against the women. I saw this one cat in Australia looking like He-Man, Conan the Barbarian, just ridiculous, out there playing, I think it was rugby. He was big for a man. He was big for a man. His shoulders were like, I'm talking about, he had no waist. His shoulders were as broad as the earth itself. I'm talking about the continental shelf was his shoulders, but he had zero waist. This person was competing against women. Unfair, right? And you see guys like this, when they get a lot of attention, a lot of notoriety, all of a sudden they are woman of the year, all this, that, and the third. It's not right. If you can have a biological man be nominated for woman of the year, then what's the purpose of having the award? I don't understand. Okay, so we continue with the article. Quote, I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman, and I was prepared for that, unquote. The 22-year-old Texan told Good Morning America in their first TV interview about the controversy sparked by her record-breaking performances in the pool. I tend to keep swimming. It's been a goal of mine to win the Olympic trials for a very long time, and I'd love to just see through that. Now, here's the other part I almost forgot about, and I'm glad the article brought it up, because just last month, the World Swimming Agency, swimming governing body, FINA, FINA, effectively banned transgender women from competing in elite women's events, including Thomas. Like, there was certain little caveats you can have, but for the most part, a person like this, look at you see the height difference? I mean, come on. Deadpool, Captain America. I mean, you looking like you about to go play for the Serbian national basketball team. Please cut it out. Okay, you look looking like Manu Ginobili on there. Straight, you about to go to Argentina and drop 45 points in EuroLeague basketball. Cut it out. But anyway, so people like this who competed as men for a long time, then all of a sudden, oh, okay, I'm a woman now. You're going to be excluded. I think in the FINA ruling or decision, if you had been quote unquote trans, like pre-puberty, then you'd be able to compete. But pre-puberty, what are we talking about? How can you actually know when you're like 10 years old whether you are a boy or a girl? And like, how can you really make that determination to change? You understand? Like, I'm not saying how you know if you're a boy or a girl. I'm saying how you know you're going to change. If you're born a biological male and then you're 10 years old talking about, oh, I'm a girl now, how do you know that? You might feel kind of weird for a moment. You might be going through a phase for a moment. And if you're a girl, maybe you're a tomboy. If you're a boy, maybe you're just kind of soft, you like playing with pink and Barbie dolls, stuff like that. That doesn't mean you're a woman. And if you are a woman, don't mean you're a man. You might just be kind of rough around the edges or kind of soft. Why can't we just do it like that rather than saying these kids are transgender and then do things to them to change them for a very long time? It's ridiculous. But that's aside from the point. I think Lia Thomas right here, we're just trying to get a competitive advantage. Okay. So let me just continue with this article and wrap it on up. The award Thomas is up for, quote, recognizes female student athletes who have exhausted their eligibility and distinguished themselves in their community, in athletics, and in academics throughout their college careers. So, okay, throughout their entire career, right? Now, again, Lia Thomas, let me come back here. Let me just get out of that article. Lia Thomas was only a quote-unquote woman for one season. I think they went there for 5 seasons, at least 4. And the majority of that time, 3 to 4 years, they competed as a male. 1 year they competed as a woman. So at the end of your college career, when you graduate, they're taking your entire career into consideration. But just 1 year of that, Lia Thomas was a woman, competing as a woman. Before that, this was William Thomas, competing as a man and not doing very well. And what has Lia Thomas done in the so-called community? I don't know. I don't know everything about this person. I don't follow their every move, but have you heard about anything like that? All that I do know is that it's very political because of the whole LGBTQ element of P thing. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Lia Thomas deserves to be nominated for the NCAA Woman of the Year Award? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is purely a political decision. Why? Because UPenn made a decision to stick with Lia Thomas, to allow them to be on the team as a woman, despite cries against it from the parents, from students, from teammates. They just stuck beside Lia Thomas and they continue to do it right now. It's kind of a slap in the face to a certain extent to the other women on the team. It's like, look, we heard what y'all said about Lia Thomas. We heard your complaints, but so what? We're going to put them on this nomination list regardless, so it doesn't even really matter. That's what I got from this particular thing. Maybe you guys think something different, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.